Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks. We finally get to the afternoon window. Yes, they always welcomed 10 early games and 3 afternoon games. What are we doing here? I mean, geez Louise. 10 early games.
It doesn't even fit in the octo box for Scott Hansen.
I have 6 televisions, and I'm going to have to pick and choose games. That should not be the case. Like that, I should never have to pick and choose games when I have 6 televisions. But instead, I'm going to have to do that. Just absurdity at its finest. Anyway, Steelers and the Seahawks. This is 3.5 in favor of the Seahawks at home over the Steelers. It is going to be Mason Rudolph for the Steelers in this one. 41.5 is our total. Steven, what do you see here as the Steelers cling to keeping Mike Tomlin where he could have a winning, the winning streak continues, for all that. Cause I don't know if you've heard that before. Mike Tomlin, no losing seasons. I don't know if you heard that before.
Yeah. And reportedly
a time or two.
Contract, yeah. I've heard it a few times. Reportedly in contract extension negotiations too here as we speak, because he's done such a stellar job this season. Really 2 teams I was trying to not bet on this week, and they happen to be playing each other. And I landed on Pittsburgh plus 3.5 here. And I understand I wanted to sell Mason Rudolph off that performance. Like that's not Mason Rudolph. The Steelers have had 2 good offensive games essentially all year, and it's been against Cincinnati both times. But I feel like Seattle is just like the mirror image of Pittsburgh this season. They're not as good as what their record says. And I think this is at least a really good matchup for the Steelers run game. And we know that they're going to want to run the ball a lot with Rudolph still at quarterback. And the Seahawks are 30th in rush D by EPA and 24th by success rate. So I think they can keep this game close. Seattle's got at least a couple of banged up players of importance on the injury report here. I thought the hook was too much here for Seattle. This is just not a team I want to bet to win by more than a field goal ever.
Yeah, it is quite a lengthy injury report. Now, we are recording this on Friday morning West Coast time, so we are not going to get the Seattle news here as to what happened on Friday, but certainly something to dig into because they had a ton of guys listed on their injury report this week, so be sure and check that one out. Adam, look, what is Mason Rudolph comparatively to Pickett? To me, y'all know what I think of Pickett. I've been so incredibly down on Pickett that I don't really think that there's much of a difference between Rudolph and Pickett at this point. I do think though we should, and Steven, I hear what you're saying. You didn't want to bet the Steelers. It was just, you think that the hook is too much. I do think what we should at least a little bit understand here is like the numbers are at least minimally deceiving, right? I mean, we have Pickens who there's 290 passing yards for Mason Rudolph. 195 of those went to Pickens, and that happened on 4 catches, right? I mean, that's just like not sustainable. It's the
Bengals defense is gross.
Yeah. Period. I mean, it's every yard, but 95 of them went to Pickens on 4 catches, right? I mean, that's just, again, something that's not sustainable. So just don't just blindly go to the box score of Mason Rudolph and go like, okay, 7 of 27, 290 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty great. Well, I mean, it is, but let's also understand that there was an 86-yard touchdown pass to George Pickens and also a 66-yard touchdown pass to George Pickens in that game. Again, not repeatable very often. Adam, what do you see here in this one? Oh, this one's yours.
The rocket ship is launching. It heads to the sun, holding Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, Drew Lock, and all of the coaches in this game. I don't want to talk about Mike Tomlin. I don't want to talk about Pete Carroll. Everyone's on the rocket ship. We'll see you at the sun.
I like it. Yeah, this one, it's not going to be a fun game no matter which side you're on. Like, it's just like, it's not going to be a fun one to watch. There's no doubt about that one. But Steven, I think weirdly enough, if I had to play it, I'd probably take the hook, but you have a stronger stomach than I do. I just can't do it. When Mason Rudolph throws the 4 picks this week, you're going to be like, what the hell did I do?
Conservative. Yeah. And conservative. I am not, but there's only 3 games in the 4 o'clock window, Matt. So like,
that's true. I know. I mean, this is just, what are we doing here?